Hi, how are you?
Oh, we got sound. Hold on, we got sound. We're waiting for a couple of more classes to
That's
come
fine.
in. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay, we can't hear you, so hang on just a second.
Why do they keep on getting big and getting small?
He'll get big in a minute. You guys want to say hi to him?
Hi. Hi. Where's me at?
There you are.
Let me make sure my mic.
I want to go now. Let me take a selfie. I love them.
She's gonna go get the speaker. So let me.
Okay.
Ashley, hey, lady. I don't know why. No. Mike. Hey, Mike.
Hi.
How do I get in this chat window? Oh, I have I know. And is Miss Rochelle's class coming? Okay, can you say something so I can test this down?
Hello.
It works.
I'm gonna go ahead and start this off with a rap song. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna do that. Okay.
Yeah, I'm waiting for Mr. Stuff. Come on in, guys. Y'all can come sit up here on the floor. Oh, good. Hey, Mac, we got a whole bunch of kids coming in, so hang tight. We're so glad you're here and on time. You're at least you're more punctual than we are. So
That's fine.
hold on, and I'll come on in, guys. Hey guys, we always like to sit. Come sit here on the floor. You might be able to see better if you come up here on the floor.
Hi.
What is people effect? Yes. Hey, Mike.
A graduation cap.
Because he works, the man we're about to talk to, his name is Mike Fleming, and he is a test engineer at National Instruments. Now, I'm sure that you are old enough to know that when we say engineer, we don't mean like he is the leader of a train or he's the driver of the train. He actually has a job called engineering. And it's a job that many of you may not know about. So I've asked him to come and meet with us today. And I told him that the best part were not my questions, but they're your questions. And he's coming to us from Austin, Texas. And he is also my little brother. What? Yeah, he is also. I say my little brother, but he's 4, so he's much smaller than I am. Wow. He's my little big brother. So we're gonna talk. He'll tell you a little bit about what he does. But he was also in the Air Force. He was Staff Sergeant in the Air Force.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and he also does a lot with computers. So if you want to put on some silly hats too, because he knows how to do all that stuff. All right, Mike, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, tell us about your job.
My job, I am a test engineer, so that's not the guy that drives the train. Engineers are people that solve problems, right? And so there are all kinds of engineers in the world. There are electrical engineers who design circuits. There are computer engineers that design computers. There are mechanical engineers that build things and design things. I'm a test engineer, so it's a little bit of electrical and a little bit of software. And so I work for a company, National Instruments in Austin, Texas, and we build software and hardware to help engineers and scientists solve problems. And so my job is to test the hardware parts, which are small circuit boards that we sell for people to solve problems. And I kind of have one of those right here. This is kind of the sort of thing that we build here, one of our products. And essentially, this circuit board is used in very large and expensive tasks. And so it's very important for us to make sure when we get that to our customers that it works well. And so that's part of my job.
Awesome. And so what got you here, Mike? What kind of training or education did you get to get you where you are now?
I took a pretty interesting path. I mean, there are some people here that are very young. I took an interesting path. I first started in electronics in the U.S. Air Force. When I was growing up, I didn't have a lot of money for school, so I wanted to learn something. So I joined the Air Force and I learned electronics, and I got paid to do that. And I was in the Air Force for 5 years, and I lived in Germany, and I worked on test equipment and part of the job that I have now. And with the money that I earned in the military, they paid for my school for free. And essentially, the college cost nothing for me. And so I went back and got a computer science degree. And so I have a little bit of hardware and a little bit of software background. And that's how I got here today.
All right, what's the best part of your job? What do you love the most?
There's a lot of those. Unfortunately, I'm not wearing shorts right now, but I think that my favorite part of my job is I get to wear shorts to work. Just like you guys. Really, though, I mean, the funnest part is to get to work on products that get to work on very important things in the world. You know, part of our software gets used on stuff as simple as a Lego robotics kit, all the way up to SpaceX, who are now launching spacecraft into the atmosphere. So our software works equally well on both those platforms. So get to hear about customer stories and people that are using our things. That's the most interesting part of my job. It makes me feel important.
They're still asking me, do we get to ask questions? Yes, you guys will get to ask questions. So if you think I'm going to ask him a couple more, and then I told him the best part is when you guys get to ask the questions. Did you catch the part that the military paid for his college?
Yeah.
If you are wondering where you're going to get the money to pay for college, the military, if you serve time in the military and you would like to pursue a degree, they will either pay for all of it or part of it. So all of it. Okay. How about what advice would you have for us, or not me, but them as young people who might want to be employable one day? What does it take to be an employee like you?
That's a good question. I think you guys are in 4th grade?
They're all mixed.
This is a very important time in your life right now because at this age, you actually can learn faster than anybody else at any age. It may not feel like that sometimes because being a kid is a full-time job. But I can tell you right now, if you listen, have people around you that want to help you, and you try hard in school and make good grades, you can do things like this. You have to work hard and be interested in studying and get as best grades as you're possible because people all want to help you right now. And so if you try hard, you can make great things happen. And I guess do what you like to do. You know, I really like taking things apart and fixing and designing things. And if you like to do that, now's the time to start. You can start now if you like. They're very, very easy ways to get started in that.
Awesome. All right, we're going to have some kids come up. Who would like to ask Michael? Okay, we got a lot of kids. And then if you'll start a line, we'll make it right here where you can walk up. If you'll say your first name and ask your question. Remember what question we don't?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Hey.
Hey. Man, you're
Hi.
really tall.
Hi, I'm Tristan.
Hi, Tristan.
I was just wondering, so would you think that your designs are difficult, or would you think they're pretty easy?
I don't think anything's super easy. I think some of them are very simple and some of them are very hard. We make very small things that it takes a short time period to test, and some things take like hours and hours to test. So there's a large range of things to do. The important thing about doing the hard stuff is having the right tools to do the job. And without having those things, it's really difficult. I mean, we just use tools. That's it. So it's really hard and difficult and not difficult things, I guess, to answer your question.
All right.
Hello.
Hi, my name's Kaylee, and I was wondering if you have ever built a circuit that makes fans work.
That makes fans work? That's an interesting question. I have not, because I do a little bit more of the software side, but I have written software to control fans and things of that nature. Yeah, that's not a very difficult circuit to make, and I think a lot of people can. That's one of the things that are pretty simple to do. But yes, I've done stuff like that before.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello, my name is Zane.
Hi, Zane.
I was wondering, when you were like a kid, was this something you was looking forward to do, like this job?
Answer that question. Yeah, I can answer that question. Yes.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, finish your question.
I wanted to do everything when I was a kid. I think I wanted to be a spaceman or something of that nature. I don't know. I wanted to play sports. I wanted to do everything. Actually, when I got in the military, I figured out this is what I wanted to do for a living. So the military is a great place to figure that stuff out.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Hello.
Hi, my name's Ramsey. And when you said that you're an engineer, does it mean that you're like a physicist or something?
I guess that's a good question. Engineers know a lot of physics, but I think physics guys, they try to solve different types of problems. But I guess physicists are kind of like engineers too. I guess they use a lot of math and a lot of science, and they use a lot of different tools. But here, we give them the parts to put those things together and solve those problems. So, hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Have you ever built like a light circuit?
Yes, I have. I've done one on paper, and I've done one in software, and I haven't done one on hardware. But once I figured out how it works, it was very easy to put into place. So, yes.
I'm Dakota. Is your job fun?
Yes, it is fun. Here in Austin, there's a lot of crazy guys that I work with, and we always have fun and joke around and work and play at the same time. I think that's the thing that we like to do here is have fun. So yeah, I have a blast at work. Thank you.
I was wondering how many years did you serve in the Air Force?
I was in the Air Force for 5 years, and I was stationed in Germany for 4 of those years. So
I'm Riley, and I was wondering, do you like build anything for yourself?
I repeat that.
Do you ever build anything like for yourself?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to explain because some of the things I build are actually just software and programs and things like that, and they help me save time. But I haven't built something for myself in a long time. But since you said that, I'm probably going to start doing a little bit more of that. Thank you.
I'm Hadley, and has your job ever taken you like anywhere interesting around the world?
Not yet, but hopefully I get to do some of that stuff. You know, we have 50 sites all over the world. One in Asia, a big one in Asia, and a big one in Europe, and hopefully I get to go over there sometime soon.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Colin, and I was wondering if you've ever made technology for the military.
Yes, I have actually. The job that I have now, I work strictly kind of on our internal parts, but some of those parts, I guess, indirectly get used in aerospace and military. And a previous job that I had was involved with working with electronics in the military as well. So yeah.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
When you're doing wires, did you ever get shocked?
Yes, I have got shocked. Whenever you work with electricity, it's important to remember they only use one hand at a time and keep your other hand away. Because if the circuit goes the electricity goes through both of your hands, it goes right through your chest, and that's bad. So always use one hand when working with electricity.
Okay. Hi, my name is Brianna. How did it feel to be in the military?
How did I like being in the military? It was fun. You know, a lot of people believe that the military is all about, you know, guns and things like that, but there's a lot of things in the military that people need to do to keep everybody else in the military working. And so my job was to work with all electronics to help aircraft. Yes, it was fun. Every day was exciting because I got to go to work with a bunch of neat people and work on neat stuff. And that's really what kind of guided me, is to work on neat things. And military is a great place to do that. Thank you.
Hello, this is Zane again. I wanted to ask you a second question.
Okay.
Is some of your circuits that you do like hard to do, like hard to make?
Some of them are. Some of them take months at a time. A lot of the electrical designers take a long time to do those parts, but the testing part usually takes just as long. So some of them can take a few months, some of them can take years. So yes, they are very difficult.
Hi, my name is Jasmine, and have you ever built any software that goes into a rocket ship?
So have I built any software to work on what kind of ship?
A rocket ship.
A rocket ship. I have not. But a lot of our software is used for that purpose. I have not personally, no.
Hi, it's me again. I was just wondering if that you. Well, actually, I was wondering what Germany was like.
What Germany was like. Germany's a very interesting place. It's a lot like the United States. It's very clean. The people are very nice. There's a lot of very old things there, and very beautiful. Germany's kind of really hilly and green. It was just fun. Every day was an adventure because you would meet someone that was like you but spoke a different language. But it was fun. Traveling was probably the most fun part about Germany, is going to see all these cathedrals and castles and hear about the history. And the food was always good.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I was wondering who inspired you to get in the Air Force.
My grandfather. My grandfather was joined the Navy when he was 16 years old, and he was in World War II on a carrier. And from the Navy, he also went to the Air Force, and he spent his entire life in the Air Force. And when I was in my early 20s, he kind of talked me into it because I felt inspired by some of the things that he did and the stories and the cool stuff he got to work on. And so I wanted to do that too. So yes, it was my grandfather.
I'm John, and what type of degree would you need to be an engineer?
That's a good question. There's really two focuses of studies to be an engineer. You either need to choose some sort of mechanical or some sort of computer science, or some sort of electrical engineering program. And the most important thing about engineering is math. If you have an aptitude for math and you like math, then you might be an excellent engineer. So I'd say a specialty in math would make you a great engineer. That's what it's going to take.
Okay, good. We got a lot of potential
Math people here.
Have you ever made an incomplete electrical circuit?
Yes, all the time. My job is to actually find out where those are before we sell them to people. So yes, a lot of times.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Have you ever flown an airplane?
Have I ever flown in an airplane? You know, funny that you say that. When I was in the Air Force, I never flew in any Air Force plane, which is pretty interesting. I've flown overseas a lot, but never on an Air Force aircraft. No, ma'am.
All right, let me have Kaylee. I don't want to run into their next period, but
Sure.
let me have Kaylee ask her question, and then we will close for today.
Okay.
Okay. Next question.
I was wondering if you have ever met a person in Germany that was in the Air Force before.
Yes, actually, a lot of the people that I worked with were there, and I actually met a person, several people that actually lived in Germany, were in the military from the United States, stayed in Germany, and had lived there now. And so they're either their wives or they bought a house there and they live there, and they come back to the United States to go on vacation. So yes, quite a few people.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, Mike, thank you so much.
You're
And we
welcome.
learned a lot from today, and we appreciate it. Put on one of those hats again for us. All right, and we appreciate you taking the time. Tell your boss we said thank you so much for letting us borrow you. And we are Chandler Intermediate, 4th, 5th, and 6th. And what do we say, guys, for him?
You're welcome.
All right, Mike, thanks, and have a great day. I'll talk to you later,
too.
brother.
All right, bye. Bye.
Hey, Miss Stevens. Hey, on my TV.